A new QB requires patience, even if it were Nick Saban still replacing Kalen Deboer. Would that be a disaster? Let's take a look. The competition for the starting quarterback job in Alabama football is far from settled, and patience will be an essential virtue for Crimson Tide fans as the process moves forward. In Tuscaloosa, where expectations are always high and the pressure to win is constant, this race is not only a reflection of the depth of the roster, but also of how Kalen Deboer is shaping his philosophy to ensure the team is prepared for the future. Deboer has been meticulous in guarding information about the progress of this competition, keeping the spotlight away from any premature decisions. This cautious approach is nothing new in the world of college football, especially for a program as large as Alabama. Nick Saban, the legendary coach who built much of the Crimson Tide's recent legacy, was a master at managing expectations and avoiding significant leaks before the right moment. Now, Deboer appears to be following a similar path, albeit in his own unique style. He knows that revealing a favorite too early can have unintended consequences, such as losing talent to the transfer portal, something Alabama simply cannot afford to risk. With Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, and Kalen Russell in the mix, Alabama has three talented quarterbacks with distinct profiles. Each brings something different to the offense, and that diversity is both a blessing and a challenge. Ty Simpson, for example, has been singled out by experts like Greg McElroy as the current frontrunner. McElroy, who knows the program and the position well, noted that there is a gap between Simpson and the other two contenders. But gaps can be closed, especially when it comes to young players with motivation and months of work ahead of them. Austin Mack and Kalen Russell, meanwhile, have every chance of surprising. Mack, with his experience within the program, and Russell, a five-star recruit with plenty of potential, represent options that can't be ruled out. Both have the opportunity to prove they're ready to take over the offense, and spring training, as well as summer workouts, will be crucial in determining who truly comes out on top. But the key question here goes beyond who's better right now. Alabama's new QB1 needs to be more than a talented player, he needs to be a leader. Leading the Crimson Tide offense isn't just about making accurate passes or reading defenses effectively, it's about inspiring teammates, making decisions under pressure, and being the face of a program that carries one of the greatest traditions in the sport. These qualities can't be measured in spring practices or media interviews alone. They're tested in real-world situations, like fall camp scrimmages, where the intensity will approximate what you'll face during the regular season. Another important factor to consider is the strategic impact of keeping opponents in the dark. By delaying the selection of a starting quarterback until the last possible moment, perhaps as late as Monday of the week of the first game against FSU, Alabama forces its opponents to prepare for multiple scenarios. With each of the three quarterbacks boasting distinct skill sets, this creates a significant competitive advantage. Uncertainty can be a powerful weapon, and Deboer certainly understands that. In the meantime, Alabama fans should resist the temptation to look for definitive predictions or read into potential leaks. As Brad Crawford of 247 Sports points out, it's important to watch how each quarterback's reps are being divided up and what signs are emerging about the first-team offense. However, these clues likely won't provide a clear answer anytime soon. The selection process will take time, and that's a good thing. It's not just about finding the best player to start the season, it's about making sure the team is prepared for the long haul. Ultimately, Alabama's choice of starting quarterback will be a reflection of the balance between talent, leadership, and strategy. Whoever is chosen, whether it's Ty Simpson solidifying his position, Austin Mack showing exponential growth, or Kalen Russell living up to the hype surrounding his recruitment, the Crimson Tide will continue to be a dominant force. And as fans eagerly await that decision, it's worth remembering that great things rarely happen overnight. Patience, in this case, is not only a virtue, but a necessity. Mac Jones is a longtime Bama regular. He reveals more about the team that should have drafted him. Let's talk a little bit about the guy. Mac Jones' journey through professional football has been a story of ups and downs, but also of resilience and adaptation. From his days leading Alabama to the national title in 2020 to his arrival in the NFL with high expectations, Jones has always carried with him a legacy of success. However, like many athletes who make it to the highest level of the game, he has faced challenges that have tested both his talent and his resilience. Now, with his new home with the San Francisco 49ers, it seems that Jones may finally find the right environment to thrive, even if it's not as a starter. When Mac Jones was selected by the New England Patriots with the 15th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, many saw it as a perfect fit. After all, he was joining a program led by Bill Belichick, a coach known for molding players and maximizing their strengths. His rookie season was promising. Jones demonstrated accurate passing, smart playmaking, and a solid understanding of the Patriots' offensive philosophy. He seemed on track to become a reliable quarterback in the NFL. However, the following seasons brought significant difficulties. Inconsistent coaching and a lack of clarity in the offensive system hampered his development, and his performance began to waver. A move to the Jacksonville Jaguars last year, while emotionally significant in returning to his hometown, did not provide the fresh start he had hoped for. Even with an opportunity to start after Trevor Lawrence's injury, Jones failed to convince critics that he could be a long-term starter in the league. Now, by signing with the San Francisco 49ers, Jones is entering a very different landscape. There is an almost poetic irony in this. The 49ers were rumored to have been interested in him during the 2021 draft, but they ultimately opted for Trey Lance, a pick that did not pan out. Had Jones been drafted by the 49ers back then, his NFL trajectory may have been completely different. Under the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan, a coach renowned for his ability to develop quarterbacks, Jones could have received the kind of consistent guidance he lacked in New England and Jacksonville. Instead, he has had to navigate shifting systems and conflicting expectations. The two-year deal worth up to $11.5 million, with $5 million guaranteed, reflects exactly the role the 49ers envision for Jones, a reliable, experienced backup to Brock Purdy. While it's not the high-profile role many expected him to play, there are clear benefits to the role. First, Jones will be on a competitive team with real Super Bowl aspirations. Second, he will have the chance to learn and grow in a well-structured offensive system, something that has always been essential to his style of play. And perhaps most importantly, he will be surrounded by a coaching staff that knows how to get the most out of its quarterbacks. Brock Purdy, despite his impressive rise from his famed Mr. Irrelevant status in the draft, has struggled with health issues in recent seasons. That creates a potential opportunity for Jones to step in should Purdy suffer another injury. Granted, being a backup wasn't Jones' initial dream, but it's a role many veteran quarterbacks would happily embrace, especially when it comes with the stability and prestige of playing for a franchise like the 49ers. Furthermore, the decision to sign with San Francisco could represent more than just a new phase for Jones. It marks an acknowledgement that he still has value in the NFL. It's not easy for a player who was once seen as a rising star to accept a secondary role, but Jones has shown maturity in embracing the transition. He understands that sometimes success doesn't come in the ways we expect it to, but rather in the opportunities we make the most of. If there's one lesson to be learned from Mac Jones' career thus far, it's that a quarterback's development in the NFL is as dependent on environment as it is on individual talent. With Shanahan at the helm and a talented roster around him, Jones may finally find the stability he's been looking for. And Bama fans are rooting for him to succeed too. What do you think? Comment below.